Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Joseph Mazzola joining us here, my fellow Long Islander and founder of Dreamscape, Ariel. It's excited to talk to him about this amazing drone service that he has. And it's helping so many throughout the tri-state through whether it's marketing, through advertising, for realtors, for photo shoots, for film, television. But drones have become like the awesomest thing, like because the views are just so beautiful. And, in the past few years, from like the neighborhood kids flying them around, and you saw like their grainy footage. Now there's like serious professional drones out there. This is a huge business, and so many other businesses are taking this stuff serious. So excited to have you back here and to talk more about all these amazing shots and aerials that you provide, like the one behind you. Say hi.
Hey,
What is
Jill.
this? Where's this one from?
Oh, this one was from the Upper East Side of New York when we were doing a real estate project back in the spring. We hung around for the golden hour to get these really nice shots of Central Park. If only that was my actual view right now. But
I know,
thank you
right?
again for having me back.
Well, thank you for being here. Tell us a little about the company and, of course, how we could find you.
For sure. For new listeners, Dreamscape Aerials is a professional drone service provider based on Long Island in New York. We service primarily the tri-state area, but we're willing to go anywhere and everywhere for the right opportunity. And you can find us at www.dreamscapeaerials.com or on social media at dreamscape_aerials.
Beautiful. Well, we're excited to have you back here today. And I know we'll talk about all these amazing projects you have. But just recently, you said you were on a little vacation. Where'd you go? What'd you do? Fill us in.
So I think I'm still recovering from a little bit of jet lag, but I
Yep.
was out in Colorado this past weekend for a friend's bachelor party, which was, more pleasure than business, but still had a lot of fun out there with the guys. Got to do some flying and get used to the elevation because being way up there was definitely something to get used to, but really good time overall. Got to see some new sites and checking out these new landscapes, getting to do new things with the drone is something that just intrinsically motivates me. It's how I got into it in the first place, to be honest.
And where specifically were you? What town? What
We were
city?
in Winter Park, which is kind of near the mountain resort, about an hour and a half northwest of Denver. So we kind of bounced between the city and being up there at our Airbnb.
What is the weather like there right now? Is it kind of crisp and fallish right now because it's high up in the
Yeah.
elevation, or?
Hey, average temperature was about 57 degrees while we were up there all throughout the
Wow.
days. So it was
Um,
beautiful.
Yeah, I
A little
took the
chilly.
kids to Vermont for a wedding a month and a half ago, and it was so far up in the mountains. It was so chilly. It was like 60, and I was like, "This is beautiful." It felt like spring, felt like fall in the middle of summer. Awesome.
Anytime is a good time for a wedding. And speaking of, that's actually the next project I have on the docket. I'll be traveling for a 2-day wedding event up in Port Jervis, New York. I'm going to be staying maybe like 30 minutes west of there, but this is the first time I've had a wedding engagement that goes for 2 days. So we're going to overnight. We're going to get shots of the opening ceremony, the actual ceremony, and of course the reception on day 2.
Oh my goodness. I never even thought about that. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Wow. Wow. That is fancy. Like outside here, like Ohika Castle on Long Island, that would be a great drone shot, which, right, of like a whole wedding and booking you for
I
the day.
love shooting at Ohika. Yeah. Haven't had the opportunity to do so this year, but just last week I was at the Crescent or the Heritage Club over in Bethpage State Park. There was a wedding there. So, given that it was a state park, for those who don't know, you typically need to get a permit to fly there. Thankfully, the agency I was working with covered all that. So I just showed up, got the shots, and met the bride and groom. They were really happy with how everything came out.
I'm sure. Thank you so much. This is exciting work that you're doing, continue to do. And I know you really, you have a lot of background also with film and TV production. You recently have done a few movie things, and I know that would be like ultimate to do more of those. I think they're just exciting. I don't know if they pay as good as the regular client, but working in the
I hope so.
television business is kind of
Yeah,
cool, right?
absolutely. Coming from you, Jill, I'm sure you can vouch for that.
It is.
And
It's so true. It's exciting. Yes.
keeping my eyes open to those opportunities. In past episodes, we talked about some of the work I did this year. We filmed for a movie at the Long Island Marathon. A crew came out from California. So I worked with their production team to get a couple shots of the stunt actress who was running the race. We were already there contracted with the race organizer to film that. So that went well. And then this summer, kicked off really well when I got to work with a British production company that came out to film for a show that's going to be on Discovery Channel. And I'm hoping, as that begins to air, hopefully next year, that'll get the word out. I've started to realize, just working in this field and building my portfolio, that not everything gets to come out the moment I film it. It's almost sitting on the back burner for a little while, and it's out of my hands with them. But even in my own queue, there's so much content I've shot from recent travels and opportunities to cover that I just haven't even had the chance to get out there. But hopefully soon.
Okay, well, what did you want to talk about for today? There's always something exciting on the horizon with you and the work you're doing. What did you want to enlighten with us today?
So outside of Colorado, I do have a couple more trips lined up. On Monday of next week, Labor Day, I'll be heading out to Vegas for Commercial UAV Expo. It's the biggest event in the drone industry, where people from all different fields come together to check out the latest tech. Spokespeople discuss whether it's their companies or updating regulations and the advancements in technology to work more efficiently and meet the safety standards that are going to need to be adopted. There's so many different areas that are beginning to emerge, from beyond visual line of sight operations, where a remote piloting command like myself doesn't need to be co-located with the drone. They can be flying from, say, a command center somewhere, and they'll send the
Mm-hmm.
drone out to deliver a package, for example. Then, of course, advanced air mobility is going to be a very hot topic. And to put it in blunt words, it's flying cars. Flying cars are not that far off. They're already being prototyped and flown in Dubai, as well as China, and the US isn't too far behind. Some of our prominent companies that are leading that are Joby Aviation, as well as Archer. So really excited to see if they have any presentations or live demonstrations out there to check out.
Wow, I want to hear about these flying cars. I'm thinking like Back to the Future right now, like that DeLorean.
Exactly.
But seriously, there are flying cars? I didn't even know this. I thought we're doing
There are.
self-driving cars. I didn't even realize this.
It will be self-driving for the most part, is my understanding. Automating it and integrating it with the National Airspace System is going to be key. So it's still in development, but I think they're forecasting 2026, 2027. We'll start seeing it a bit more frequently here in the States.
Oh my gosh, what a whole nother way of thinking. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Holy cow.
We'll have to see. And I'm hoping, being a Part 107 licensed operator, that'll be
Ah,
my foot in the door to get some experience with that too. In terms of dealing with the FAA, I myself have another round to do with them in terms of getting my operations over people waiver approved. I just heard back from them the other day. They sent me an RFI, or a request for more information, for those who are unaware. So just outlining the kind of work I do and how flying over people is going to make it more effective and how we're going to be able to do it safely.
amazing. By the way, I'm Googling how much do flying cars cost? 170,000 up to like 1 million.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna look
Yeah.
at it later. I'm gonna research it later. I can't believe it. I'm like, okay, so I don't know if I'll be able to afford one, but hopefully, like with anything, the price does come down once they start making and there's more demand.
Yeah, there should be mass adoption at some point, but who knows when we'll get there.
Oh
To me,
my gosh.
hang on one second.
Sure, no
It,
problem.
it's something we actually talk about in our class, and I'm actually representing a little bit today, Aerial Advantage Academy. We do touch on advanced air mobility and how it's getting us closer to achieving what my colleague David likes to call the Jetsons dream, which is kind of where we envisioned ourselves back in 1962 when that show first came out. We're almost a century out from them, and
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun, 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 me, George Jetson. Dun, dun. I love that song. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so many
it,
things I want to I have to let my kids watch
from that and the
those.
Flintstones, I know.
Mm-hmm.
We're, we've achieved a lot of what they envisioned, from internet to cell phones, and flying cars really might not be too far off as a possibility soon enough.
Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? All right. As a professional drone provider, what other ways are you helping the average consumer, commercial consumers here with your work? I know you do a lot with architecture. We talked about the 3D mapping also. What other things are important for us to mention today?
I'd say that's probably taken up like the majority volume of what the work I've been doing lately is, from roof
Hmm.
inspections, working with third parties, to clients that are reaching out to me directly that, excuse me, want to get their homes inspected or show off a nice piece of real estate to put on the market. And that's something we can also do for them, from not just aerial imaging, but interior work and creating 3D models, like you mentioned before. So a recent one I did, I think we talked about Queens County Farm the last
Yeah,
couple.
yeah. You went there. You shot the behind the scenes for the fall festival that's coming up, right?
Yeah, this gigantic butterfly themed corn maze that they have. It looked great. Was able to get a bunch of shots for them. Also pitched them on doing a full mapping of the entire acreage of the property. I believe it's about 40 something acres. So the way they do that is the drone will fly an automated path and collect about 100 images and stitch them together. I've also tried to offer this to
Wow.
the local government here in Suffolk County. Jill, I'm sure you saw the devastation that Port Jefferson and
That
that area
bridge
experienced.
collapse at the water. What part with Avalon Park, right?
Avalon. Yeah,
But
Blydenburg. I owe a lot to Blydenburg because that's frankly where I got my start flying drones. The groundskeeper kind of knew me notoriously for getting my drone stuck on his roof once in a while. It only happened once, but that was the perfect training ground. I have a UAV permit to fly there whenever I want. And it's just such a shame to see that the dam broke and the entire pond emptied out. So it's hopefully not the worst ecological disaster. It does seem like they're going to fix it. But something I wanted to offer to the town was to do a mapping project where we would collect hundreds of images from a certain altitude, and you could see the entire pond and collect volumetric measurements for data analysis to assess the damage. It would be more cost effective than renting a plane or a helicopter to do it. But at this point, it looks like a federal emergency has been declared. So
so they have to bring
probably
in the federal people.
we'll leave it to them.
Oh my God, so sad. How bad? No, I'm sorry, naive to know this, but all I know was Avalon Park. What's Blindenburg Park? Is that near the park? I don't even know Blindenburg.
Yeah, it's not too far from Avalon. So there's Smithtown and then Port Jeff, Stony Brook, a little northeast of it. So that whole area, like the dam got wiped out on the edge of Mill Pond. And I went the other day. Maybe I could find the video. It was something else. But yeah, hopefully the
So
recovery is
sad.
swift. Yeah.
That's horrible. And I didn't even think about that, how that beneficial that could be to map images to, wow, do stuff like that in projects. But even like, what about like developing, buildings, people buying commercial lots and stuff? Does your service company do that type of stuff to help them map out the land? I mean, before they purchase it,
I
or
do. Yep, I do see a bunch of requests for vacant lots of land. We could map those to get a more accurate assessment of the acreage, maybe determine property lines. They typically just want overheads, in relation to the surrounding environment. So many of my commercial real estate clients just want to show their property off in proximity to New York City, which makes total sense.
of course it does, absolutely. And at this time, Dreamscape Aerials, please remind us how we can reach out to you.
That would be www.dreamscapeaerials.com, social media at dreamscape_aerials. And lastly, just give me a call, 631-645-7596.
Perfect. And what's happening with our mindful drone, your blog section? Is there anything that
Well,
you want to discuss for today? What's happening? I'm excited we get a shout out on there that we're doing these
yeah,
podcasts together.
that's right. Well, we have 2 episodes left, this being one of them. And from there, I do hope to start a creative writing series. Some part creative, also maybe informative for people local to Long Island to get familiar with the local rules, as well as those wanting to fly in New York City and what the permit process is like. I've had a lot of people reach out to me on Reddit, for example, commenting on a thread, asking how they get those New York City approvals. So I've been able to help a few people out that way.
Awesome. Can't wait to look forward to it, guys. Go to the website and check out the blog section. And of course, the I just like seeing is believing. I like seeing your work and your photos, your videos, speak volumes. And what do you have coming up now? Here's the fall, right? So do you have any like fall foliage scenes? I'm sure you do, but like I love going upstate to like Bear Mountain, like
Yes.
Oktoberfest time and stuff and see like that must be so beautiful to
I'm
see.
hoping we land some good ones. There's a wedding in Centerport I'll be covering mid-October. A few more races with Race Awesome that I'm going to be doing. And recently, oddly enough, I've received 2 different nautical requests. One for a yacht sailing race that's going to be out in Oyster
Ooh.
Bay. Just put in a proposal for that. And then another person reached out to me about filming a music video off the coast of Brooklyn, which is a project in itself to get that going between obtaining the New York City permit as well as a special government interest waiver to fly in the Hudson River exclusionary zone, which we've done before and hope to do again.
Wow, that is so darn cool. Wow.
It's never a dull moment.
No, that's great. And then, aside from also the marathons you do and you did some of the festivals, we have more festivals out here and you were in Patchogue recently, right?
That's
And
right.
what was the one that you did? Was it the
Great South
feast?
Bay.
Yes. What was that?
The Great South Bay Music Festival. I
Yep, that
actually
was the
just
other one.
got off the phone with the operator of that, excuse me, before we hopped on. He was telling me a little bit about his dates for next year, which are going to be July 24th, my birthday, through the 27th. Yeah. So always a fun way to celebrate. And, hopefully they'll get some good acts. What I'd really like to pitch him on is the opportunity to bring in a drone light show. I think there is a huge market for that. And with a little bit of venture capital to start up, maybe that will be a possibility for us next year too.
Wait, that you will actually get the drones with with the lights and stuff and
Yes.
operate
Yeah.
those?
To
I
create animations.
I saw that only one time, and it was last September in Bethpage, near the water tower.
Yep.
They were doing like the carnival festival thing there, and I went. And at the end, they had this amazing light show choreographed to music, and like they had News 12 down there filming it ahead of time, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I didn't realize how like it's better to have drones than like fireworks even. Like I prefer to have a drone show on 4th of July than that because the way they make it it's like fireworks is what it is, but it's cooler fireworks. The colors are changing. It's a lot longer than fireworks. It's just that is the coolest thing. And I just it's the first time I ever saw it or experienced it.
It's a little hard to compete with the biggest name in the industry, Sky Elements. They might actually be back here in Comac next month. Rumor has it they're going to do a 9/11 tribute show in Comac.
Oh.
So even to work with them just a little bit to gain some experience will be key and instrumental in learning some of the ropes. But it's something I've dreamt about for a while, and I think it would fit very well with our brand to offer that here in the Northeast.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And just curious about drones in general. I know you have to be licensed and certified, and there's a real serious process that goes into it. We're not using the little kids, drone from Target to do this amazing work. But
Right.
how long? What is the longevity of a drone? Do you charge it? How long does this say charge? Is it battery operated? Is it plugged in? Just give me some basics on the drones itself. Like, how does it work?
I'm going to tell you the popular answer I always heard when I was a student of psychology. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from the base, some FPV drones, batteries will typically only last a few minutes. The industry standard, particularly with DJIs right now, is about 20 to 30 minutes of flight time for each
Okay.
battery. But it's very important to take good care of your batteries too.
Okay.
You don't want to risk a LiPo fire. But overall longevity of the drones, I have one from 2018 that's still kicking. As
Okay.
long as the software is good, you maintain it well, don't fly in the rain to not corrode any electronic parts, they can serve you well for a long time. And a lot of people actually use some of these discontinued drones just because they fit the bill for 3D modeling and other assignments. Meanwhile, manufacturers are pushing out newer stuff, but their capabilities are more segmented, which leads to people having to buy several drones to do several different things.
Got it. Awesome. What else is on tap for us today, Mr. Mazzola?
Working on a couple teaching opportunities. We have a couple proposals out for local school districts from last year. Jericho High School went back today. I can't believe they're starting before September 1st, but they were our drone boot camp, first drone boot camp educational institution that we worked with, where it was a one-day program. We brought in drone soccer. We taught all the kids a lot of the basics, gave them time in the simulator, and even got them accredited with their FAA trust certificate. So we're hoping to repeat that success with more districts this year. And I'm also looking at a couple opportunities to work for other organizations like this one called Vivid Imagination. They would be teaching in inner city schools between grades 3 to 12, getting them exposed to drone education. And then there's another recruiting agency I applied with, and they might put in a good word for me to be a UAS training specialist for the New York Power Authority. So fingers crossed on that.
Awesome. Great to hear. This is exciting stuff you got
A lot of
going on.
possibilities, but running my business has kind of been my priority, and it's such a tricky spot right now. My family is halfway through selling the house. They want to move to Florida. Florida's great.
Wait, and you're
I,
wait there at Northport, is it?
Northport, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm inclined to stay on Long Island. I started my business here, and I want to follow through on that. I think it's a key market, and still have a lot of family and friends up here. But travel is kind of the nature of the beast, so I'm open to go wherever it takes me. But staying in like keeping a foothold here is definitely the most important.
Awesome. This is so cool. I love it. I love it. What about heading out east? I know you've done the Montauk Lighthouse. You have all the vineyards out there. You have all the
Hmm.
fall festivals and the orchards, the apple picking stuff happening and all that stuff. Any luck out there yet with those guys? Or they're a
I
little
haven't
too
had
small
too many
town?
other requests come in yet for out east. I stopped by Lavender by the Bay up near Riverhead to pitch them on some work, but their season doesn't really start until June of next year again.
Okay, cool.
But given a little bit of proactivity, hopefully I can reach out to some of these breweries, farmhouses out there, whatever they want to get to promote it, whether it be exterior or using a drone to fly through their venue and showcase the awesome interior spaces they
How do
have.
you fly a drone through the interior? I mean, is
So
it
that would
set?
be
Is it
an
set to like
FPV.
not
Mhm.
hit things? No. Does it have a sensor on it, or you just have to be a really good
Kind
skilled
of.
operator?
It comes down to skill for sure, and knowing your range, having a good team, coordinating everything. We did this with Urban Air over in Dix Hills for their
Oh, we
grand
have
opening.
one near us in
Mhm.
Smitten and the Smith Haven Mall. So that's Lake
That's
Grove.
right. Yep. So haven't worked with that one yet, but FPV, for those who don't know, is an first-person view drone where the operator wears a set of goggles, and the drone can fly a bit more nimbly, skillfully through complex environments, which is a very innovative way to show
Wait,
off these
didn't
features.
you do that at like the Christmas holiday light show? I saw your video.
I did. Yeah,
So
we
you were
shared that in a previous episode.
yes, you pulled it up
Um,
and it was yeah, because you even said sometimes it hit it, right? Because it's dark, right? Because you were shooting with lights and like yeah, I remember that one.
So I'd like to show you one more, which
Sure.
is what I sent to the prospective client that wants to hire me to film their sailing event. I did this one just for fun in Northport the other back in June. Let me see if I can find that. Excuse me.
Ooh.
Hang on. I think I just need to share my screen.
Sure. You have
And this
permission. Should always be open.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So can you see this?
Yeah, I can. Northport Harbor. Whoa.
Northport Harbor. Apologies for the pixel resolution. I'm just trying to keep the bandwidth good, but this is an FPV drone. You'll notice it's flying pretty fast, pretty low, and around these obstacles as skillfully as possible. And for an event like a yachting sailboat race,
Wow.
I think this is a very exciting, maybe adrenaline inducing way to show it off.
Wow.
You can't do that with a normal drone, these dives and maneuvers.
Beautiful. I just went a little further west towards Bayville the other night. I
Oh,
went out
yeah?
to dinner at the Ocean Club. Is it the yeah, Ocean Club. It's anyway, there's weddings and events there, but I got to see some of the North Shore. It's so beautiful to see all these boats out on the water.
I know. I'm going to miss it once it passes. And just one more thing. I know we talked about it before. Oop,
Oh, there it is.
wrong video is playing.
That Blindenberg Mill Pond. Ah,
So this is what Blydenburg currently looks like because of the dam breaking. As you see here, the pond pretty much emptied out and went spilling into the adjacent roads. It's a real shame.
wait, those are roads? Were?
This is Blydenburg Park, and you see it's so
Ah,
empty. You can see all the tree stumps in this what they call it stump pond that
oh
was empty.
my gosh.
That was a heck of a
Wow.
story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. popped by there last week just to get a view for myself.
Wow. Yeah, we took the kids to Avalon Park 2 years ago. We were going to bring them this summer, never did, but now it's such a shame that that's gone. Um, but let's talk about the positive and the upcoming
Yeah,
work that you have. Hopefully, more work coming in your way. And if someone wants to reach you, Joseph, how do we do so?
that'll be www.dreamscapeaerials.com, at dreamscape_aerials on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. And then just give me a call at 631-645-7596, and I'll be happy to talk about your project.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And
Oh,
we'll
it's a pleasure.
connect soon. Thank you so much for
Yep.
showing that. And so sad about what's happening out here on Long Island with that flood water. But thank you for showing us. That was a really bird's eye view into it. And gosh, well, I guess the federal government has to come in. But that's awesome that you went out there and proposed that. But you're smart to think that and to be proactive, to go out and you got to
Just
pitch
let it go.
yourself like anyone
Thank
in life. Yes, you got to work. You got to work, hustle, hustle. Good luck to you, Joseph. And are we back again next week?
you. Yeah. Last
Happy
one.
Labor Day. Oh my gosh. Okay. Enjoy your extended weekend and I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay.
Sounds good.
Last
Take care.
show. Oh my God. What are you going to do for the last show?
I think we're going to need to push it a little bit. I'll be at the conference next week,
Oh,
but
I think you should do a live drone show. I want a live
that's kind of a
shot
cool idea. Yeah.
and have someone film you operating the drones or just set up the camera. All right. Next time. Bye. I'll see you
All right.
soon.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.